Hi, Mike. Any updates over the last 9 hours about whether it's a broken toe or something that could be long term for Rasul and Iffy?
The still getting some more information on Sewell. Yeah, the if you won, it seems to be it probably a week to week thing, and it was pretty um it seems to be an issue for him to be able to move the way he needs to. So it looks like a week to week thing there, and I need more information through the weekend on Rasul. Uh, so.
And if I could ask you really quickly, do you think we'll see James Daniels and Jason Sanders this year? Is it possible that both might miss the season?
I think we'll see both of them. And hopefully sooner than later, but they're both doing a great job. Not there hasn't been setbacks as much as we're getting consistent improvement, and hopefully it happens sooner than later.
Thanks, Mike.
Hmm?
David Furonis.
Hi, Mike. Good morning.
Good.
I know we always choose the day after losses to ask about your conversations with Steve Ross, but I wanted to ask, have they deviated at all from the normal this game and the next talk with this one? And has his tone over time changed with the mounting losses?
No.
Okay, same. And I know last night you were still digesting the loss when asked about the trade deadline, but now with the weekend off, I guess it is now the next on the docket. What I want to ask is from a human perspective, how do you go about communicating with players who could be on the market in the coming days and be forced to move abruptly?
Well, I think the main thing is that I first and foremost I'm the coach of the team, so I focus on coaching the players. But I know those conversations when your record is as such, it's a this is standard. This is how the business works. So those conversations will be had. We always have to have they're very layered, but always have the best interest in the organization in mind. But for me, I participate in those conversations when called upon. I know those will occur over the next coming days, but my main focus is coaching the players, and part of coaching players is having them understand that it's not personal. That is, this is a big business, and much like a lot of our, I think I just had I get a lot of questions. A lot of people have questions that a lot of speculation. That's the nature of the National Football League. There's a lot of people that are paying attention, a lot of people invested in it. So you just have to explain where it's coming from, and be a human being that I definitely can understand when people are what that's like, and so you hit it head on that way, because it's a lot of the times it's people are flying blind. They just hear what they hear. So when that occurs, you just have to be very direct and honest, which we will always be.
Thank you.
Omar.
Mike, in last night, in terms of some of the operational things, how much of that was an issue? We started early in the first drive or two. I had to call a timeout because I'm assuming a player didn't get lined up properly. How much of that was an issue last night?
It showed up more than I I wanted to. It was less than some of the earlier games in the season, but it showed up in critical situations. And I think the I think guys did their absolute best. The week previous in terms of almost eliminating that. We still had a couple procedural penalties, but this game, there's a different set of challenges on a Thursday night, and because of that, you try to go in. We had our smallest game plan that I think I've ever had here, and really tried to nail some stuff down. And I think it just there's no answer except preparation. Unfortunately, is that you have to, and I think they're prepared most of the game, but there's always you never know what play is going to turn the tide, what play is going to have impact on points, or what plays you can't overcome. So that will be a continued focus. How do you focus on that? It's relentless. Literally every play um, uh, that we walk through a practice. Me following the huddle to the line of scrimmage, and being hard on guys as I know they're hard on themselves. But that can't happen. I think it's not the reason that we lost, but it contributed to the the buildup of all the reasons why we lost. So it was disappointing for sure. I think you guys saw how I felt about some of those things, on the field, and that just comes from controlling the controllables and going into a game knowing we can't beat ourselves, and then beating ourselves is frustrating. But the to the nth degree. Fortunately, the saving grace is that this team, when we get back together, has to play a division opponent that's beat us multiple times in a row, and that will take that kind of clears people's minds. We assess how we failed, and then figure out a plan of action so we don't do it the following week. So it will be very a motivated work week of prep for this next opponent.
Thank you.
Isaiah?
Morning, Mike. Kind of just along those same lines, like how frustrating is it that you still are having this conversation about execution in week 9? And just how do you go about correcting that?
Well, I think it's something that has it occurs really every year to a degree, and then but it's frustrating as all get out, because you're trying to focus on it, and you're doing different things to problem solve it, and I am used to that being a reoccurring theme when you have multiple lineup changes and stuff. But you give yourself no excuse, and the players no excuse, because on game day you don't have any excuse. So it's yeah. In my position, I'm not afforded the opportunity to have emotions all the time. Like I can't. Yeah, it's frustrating, but I can't like stop. I have to continue to try to focus on ways to reach people and get things done, because it can't occur. And there's a lot of times, in the past, there's a lot of things to weigh. Sometimes it costs people their opportunity to play and their jobs, and if there's not a better option for the team, or it's irresponsible, or puts issues into other players' hands because the drop off from player to player is too significant, then you just have to recreate a different set of circumstances to try to get done. Regardless, it will continue to be frustrating, and I'm pretty sure our guys understand the direct correlation between winning and losing and failing to execute. But if they don't, they'll continue to learn the hard lessons until they do, because it doesn't go anywhere. It's the continued theme of the National Football League in general. Most of the failures, when you lose, or when you lose on a play, has to do with the controllable from one side or the other. So we will continue to make it a priority, because winning will always be the priority, and I think I see that directly correlated with winning.
Chris Perkins.
Hey, Mike, I got a question about whether you think your message is getting through to players. We see evidence that these guys are still playing hard, that they have not quit. But as I talked to them last night in the locker room, a lot of them talked about details and a lot of self-inflicted damage. And so I'm wondering, do you think your daily message is getting through to the players and your overall message is getting through to them?
I would say so because they just used my messaging.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I mean, that's exactly what, they're so the understanding and executing, like they're understanding that the details are the nitty gritty, and whether or not, I think it's one issue to not know what those details are. It's another issue to, the game of football. There's 11 players. There's high energy. It is physical, and there's a lot of demands and a lot of desire. And so it is so easy to think about it like this. Let's say we're talking about the details um, the distribution of a passing concept. You know how easy it is to forget the subtle coaching points of where your eyes should be if your focus is, man, I really want to complete this to Waddle. Like if you're thinking that, there's a detail lost. Extrapolate that to, okay, well, um, the details are that we're going to go on a hard count, and how important it is for you to come off the ball and hit your aiming point as offensive lineman, and your aiming point and your desire to come off the ball sometimes can trump the detail of the snap count like that. So it's a there's it's not exclusive to. I get very frustrated when I think the veterans capable of um, of compartmentalizing all the information fail at it. It's another story when young guys are learning that lesson, but across the board, it's not good enough when you're in mid-season and you're talking about that. So you continue to talk about it and get it fixed. I can't. Uh, I think that's the only way that you grow as players and as a team. But yeah, I think the message is getting through. The For various reasons that aren't always the same. Sometimes those details are getting lost in the heat of battle. And how do you correct that? Well, you correct it by a work week. I think we did that the week before and we didn't do it this week. So flat out, you get 1 week or you get one win and you get one loss, and that's what it is. You're never going to stray from that.
All right. Thank you.
We've got time for one last question. We'll go to Alan.
Good morning, Mike. In the interest of fairness, in the interest of thoroughness, and in the same vein as Barry, what's your level of confidence that each of the following players will be activated at some point this season? And that would be Andrew Meyer, Liam Eichenberg, and Austin Jackson.
I'm feeling more confident in Austin Jackson, second tier confidence in Andrew Meyer, and I'm hopeful, but I would be lying if I would say I would expect Liam. I'm hope you always have hope, but it's he's been going through some trials in the process.